The slave markets of Jara Station reeked of desperation and cruelty. Verk kept his head down, weaving through the crowded corridors with his toolkit slung over his shoulder. As a human mechanic working in the Outer Rim, he had learned to ignore the horrors that filled these places. The galaxy was vast, and humanity was still the newcomer species, too weak to challenge the established order. But then he saw her. In a reinforced cage meant for apex predators, a Kareen warrior sat chained. The feline species was legendary across the stars, their kind known as the galaxy's most feared soldiers. This one was female, her silver-striped fur matted with dried blood, her amber eyes hollow with defeat. The collar around her neck pulsed with neural inhibitors, keeping her docile for the entertainment of her Vorath captors. Verk's hands clenched. He should keep walking. Humans didn't interfere. They couldn't afford to. Fresh merchandise. A Vorath slaver chittered, his mandibles clicking with amusement. This one killed 17 of my guards before we subdued her. A war guardian, they say. Worth a fortune to the right buyer. A war guardian. Verk's breath caught. The Kareen chose their war guardians through an ancient ritual, warriors who bonded with a single individual for life, protecting them until death. They were myths made flesh, unstoppable once they claimed their charge. The feline's eyes met his for a fraction of a second. There was no plea in them, no hope. Only the quiet acceptance of a warrior who had fallen. Verk made his decision. That night he returned with his plasma cutter and every credit he had saved. The station's security systems were laughably outdated, designed to keep slaves in, not skilled mechanics out. He bypassed 3 locks and disabled 2 guard drones before reaching her cage. The Kareen's eyes snapped open as he approached. Up close, she was massive, easily 7 feet of corded muscle and retractable claws. Her collar hummed ominously. "Easy," Verk whispered, his hands already working on the electronic lock. "I'm getting you out." She didn't move, didn't speak. The neural inhibitor prevented both. The lock clicked open. Verk stepped inside, his heart hammering. The collar was more complex, its circuitry intertwined with the nervous system. One wrong cut and he could kill her. His hand steadied as he focused, the way his father had taught him back on Earth. Precision over speed. Care over haste. The plasma cutter hummed to life. 20 minutes later, the collar fell away with a metallic clatter. The Kareen moved like lightning. One moment she was still. The next her hand was around Verk's throat, claws pricking his skin. Her amber eyes blazed with fury and confusion. "Why?" Her voice was a growl, the first word she had spoken in months. Verk didn't struggle. Because no one deserves this. Not even a monster? She released him, stepping back. Her body trembled, whether from rage or relief, Verk couldn't tell. "You are human. Your kind does not interfere. You survive by staying invisible." "Maybe I'm tired of being invisible," Verk said, rubbing his throat. She stared at him, something shifting behind those predatory eyes. "What is your name, mechanic?" Verk Tarasenko." "I am Akim of the Shattered Moon Clan." She placed a clawed hand over her chest, a gesture of respect among her people. "You have freed a war guardian, Verk Tarasenko. Do you understand what that means?" He shook his head. "When one of your kind shows courage that surpasses reason, when they face death to preserve honor not their own, a war guardian may choose them. The bond is sacred, unbreakable." Her voice dropped to something almost reverent. "I choose you, human. From this moment until my last breath, your life is mine to protect. Your enemies are mine to destroy." "Wait, I don't need—" The alarm shrieked to life. The Vorath had discovered the breach. Akim's demeanor transformed instantly. The broken slave vanished, replaced by something primal and terrifying. She moved to the cage entrance, placing herself between Verk and the approaching guards. Her claws extended fully, each one gleaming like surgical steel. "Stay behind me, my charge." The first 3 Vorath died before they could raise their weapons. Akim moved through them like a force of nature. Every strike lethal, every movement economical. She was art and death combined, a master of violence unleashed after months of captivity. More guards came. She cut through them all. Verk ran behind her, his mechanic's mind already plotting their escape route. "Left corridor. There's a maintenance shaft that leads to the docking bays." Akim didn't question. She simply moved where he directed, trusting him completely. It was strange, this instant bond, but Verk could feel it too. Something fundamental had shifted in the universe the moment that collar fell away. They reached his battered transport ship with a dozen Vorath in pursuit. Akeem held the docking bay entrance while Verk fired up the engines, his hands flying across the controls. The ship shuddered to life, old but reliable. Akeem now. She leaped aboard as the ramp closed and Verk punched the accelerator. The transport screamed out of the docking bay, Vorath plasma fire scorching their hull. But they were clear, breaking atmosphere, jumping to FTL before the station's cruisers could pursue. In the quiet of hyperspace, Akeem stood before Verk, blood still fresh on her fur. She knelt, placing her forehead against his hands in a gesture of absolute devotion. "You risked everything for a stranger," she said quietly. "You saw a person where others saw property. This is why humans will reshape the galaxy, Verk Tarasenko. Not through strength, but through this impossible courage." Verk helped her to her feet, suddenly embarrassed. "I just couldn't walk away." "I know." Akeem's lips pulled back in what might have been a smile. "And now the galaxy will learn what happens when they threaten one under a War Guardian's protection. Let them come. Let them all come." For the first time in years, Verk smiled. He wasn't invisible anymore. He had a 7-foot feline warrior sworn to his defense, and somehow, impossibly, he had found his place among the stars. The mechanic and the guardian. Humanity's courage and the Karin's fury. Together they would show the galaxy what it meant to be free.